I've never heard of anyone talking about over breathing. I've heard of overeating, but never over breathing. And yeah, when I got introduced to exercise, it was just like breathe more, get the oxygen back in the blood, breathe more, breathe more. And then you're saying that's the opposite of what you want to do. How do you start to practice under breathing? And do you condition people to say, look, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable at first?
Breath, CO2 tolerance, or like feeling like what it's called air hunger, this need to breathe. And it's like you're starving for air. It's one of the most uncomfortable things in the beginning. Having high level CO2s, it makes people panic. And so it is a bit challenging, because if you don't breathe, you feel like you're going to die. So one of the things is reassociating what that relationship is to what that feeling is. So for me, when I'm sitting and I'm doing my breath hold practices, and I could hold my breath for like right now about 4.5 to 5 minutes. It changes for me depending on how much I'm doing it. And that's without hyperventilating. So hyperventilating is another tool. It's actually a really great tool to use. I free dive as well. And one of the major no's with free diving is hyperventilating before you do that, because it tricks your body into thinking that you don't need to breathe. Yeah. Because again, we breathe based on how much CO2 we have. So if you hyperventilate, you become hypocapnic. So your carbon dioxide levels come down. As they come down, it takes much longer for them to build up. This is how the TUMMO breath, or Wim Hof breathing. Wim Hof breathing is taken from a really ancient practice. So you do this TUMMO breathing and you breathe off tons and tons of CO2. When you breathe off a lot of CO2, it stimulates your sympathetic nervous system. Your blood vessels start to shunt down, especially the ones going to your brain, which is why you feel a little bit dizzy. Your nervous system becomes overexcited, which is why you start to feel little tingles. And then you get what's called carpal pedal spasms if you do it for a really long time, like an hour or so, where your hands start to cramp up like this. But just like in that first little 2 minutes, you'll probably feel a little bit of tingling and you'll feel lightheaded, a little euphoric as well. And so that's having really, really low CO2 levels. And then on an exhale, you would hold your breath. And so that while you're holding your breath, it allows you to hold your breath much longer. So there's a really positive benefit to this. Well, one, for the balancing of your nervous system, because you're working first in the sympathetic and then into the parasympathetic. And so you're teaching your nervous system how to fluidly move between stress and relaxation without having to make these big transitions. So you could be in a stressful situation and then immediately calm yourself down just by a few breaths, because you've trained yourself to do that. But if you're working for athletic performance, the key to VO2 max is having lots of red blood cells. So I hyperventilate. I'm able to hold my breath for a really long time. This is also going to help with my CO2 tolerance a little bit as I hold it longer. And then your body sees that the red blood cell, or the oxygen saturation, is going down. So it says, okay, let's contract the spleen. So it puts out a lot of red blood cells into your system. That's what the spleen does. It's kind of like a storage cell for in case you need it. So either if it's trauma or if you're working out, it's going to do that. And then it's going to be okay, well, this is happening all the time, so let's make more red blood cells. So I'm holding my breath. I'm able to get my SpO2 down really low, and that triggers the body into that effect of breathing. And so that's really what happens with the TUMMO breath, or the Wim Hof breathing. Great exercise for athletic performance. And also, great for the nervous system.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.